Hi friends, welcome to our channel Sangeeta to Teach. Today in this video we are going to learn about the classical conditioning theory of learning. So this is one of the theories of learning. We will cover all the remaining theories of learning in the coming videos, and we have already completed the introduction to the teaching aptitude and also the learner's characteristics. I will give those links in the description box. You can have a look at it, and if you are coming for the first time to our channel, please like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, so going into our video for today, so this classical conditioning theory was given by the Pavlov. So what are the topics that we are going to cover in this video are the experiment that was conducted in the classical conditioning, what are the different concepts that were given under this experiment, and also we'll talk about these principles. Okay, let me give you a brief about what is stimulus and response, because we come across these two words very frequently in this experiment. Stimulus is something that will create an action. And a response is the action that you produce for that particular stimulus. For example, if you like an ice cream and I'm showing you an ice cream, you get tempted for ice cream if you really love it. So the stimulus here is the ice cream, and the feeling of tempting or happiness that you have is the response that you give it. So you're clear with it? The ice cream is creating the action, that is your response, that is your happiness or something. So here the stimulus is the ice cream. So what is the response? The happiness or the temptation that you have for the ice cream is called as the response. Simple? Okay. Now let's get into the topic of our today's classical conditioning. So Ivan Pavlov is a he's known for his famous experiment, that is conditioning the salivation, which was conducted on the dogs. So classical conditioning was conducted on the dogs. Okay, this classical conditioning is also called as the response conditioning, conditioned reflex, conditioned response, and Ivan Pavlov's Ivan conditioning. So these are the different names you have to remember. Those are considered to be the classical conditioning as well. So he was a Russian scientist. He got Nobel Prize in 1904. This is the basic information about this classical conditioning. Now let's look at that. Look at the experiment. Okay, before conditioning, as I said you, any dog gets stimulus. Natural stimulus is that, when a dog sees the food, it gets salivated. So it is a natural phenomenon. Whenever the dog sees the food, it will get salivated. It gets tempted. So it is unconditioned stimulus. Seeing the food is unconditional. It is happening for a natural way. It is happening, there is no condition that I'm applying. So unconditioned stimulus is the food. So unconditioned response is the dog's salivation. So it is simple that whenever a dog sees the food, it is a natural phenomena that it will get salivated. So I'm not applying any condition here. So the food is an unconditioned stimulus, and the response is the unconditioned response, because I'm not applying any condition. It is happening in a natural way. So it is unconditioned stimulus and unconditioned response. Clear? Okay. The next one is that do a dog get salivated when I ring a bell? It is not at all related, right? The food is related because it feels tempted, and so it will salivate. So when I ring a bell, the dog doesn't react, it doesn't salivate. So there is no response. So it is a neutral stimulus. Ringing a bell is a neutral stimulus, and there is no response from the dog. Okay? Okay. Now I am conditioning the dog. Along with the food, I am ringing the bell. I am applying a condition called as the bell along with the food. Okay? So when the dogs get trained with this unconditioned response, it will normally, seeing the food, it will salivate. But I'm conditioning it with the bell. So when I repeat this for longer time, it will get trained. So after conditioning, I have conditioned now. I started giving the food along with the bell. So now whenever I ring the bell, it is a condition that I'm applying. So the ringing the bell is a conditioned stimulus, and the dog will salivate. The response is conditioned response, because it is responding to the condition that I am applying. So it is conditioned response. So when I ring the bell, it will start salivating after the conditioning. Simple? Okay. Let us see in an overview that whenever a dog sees the food, it will salivate. It is a natural phenomenon where I am not applying any conditions. So it is food is the unconditioned stimulus, and the response that the dog is giving for the food is an unconditioned response. Okay. Now, if I ring a bell in front of a dog, it will not react because it has no relation with the food. So it is an unconditioned, like it does not react at all. There is a neutral stimulus and there is no response. I'm conditioning now. During the conditioning, what happens? I am ringing the bell along with giving the food. So I'm training it in such a way that whenever I ring the bell, I am going to give you food. This is the way I'm going to train. I'm applying a condition of ringing the bell along with the unconditioned stimulus. Whereas ringing the bell is an conditioned stimulus and the food is unconditioned stimulus. Condition is the bell. Unconditioned is the food. And the response is during the condition is seeing the food, it will respond. Unconditioned response. Whereas after conditioning, there is no food, but whenever I give the bell, it will start to salivate because it is habituated. It has got trained in such a way that it feels whenever I'm ringing the bell, I'm going to give it the food. So it will start to salivate. So only with the condition here, it is going to respond. So it is conditioned stimulus and conditioned response that the dog is giving after the conditioning. Okay, clear? Okay, the same diagram where you can understand the food is an unconditioned. UCS is unconditioned stimulus. So I'm not applying any stimulus. The food I'm giving, and so it is unconditioned response that the dog is salivating. I am going to ring the bell, but there is no response because the dog, the food can salivate, but the bell cannot salivate. It is not tempting the dog in any way. It is nowhere related, right? And now what I'm doing during conditioning, I'm training the dog in such a way that I will ring the bell along with giving the food. So he is getting trained. So that will be unconditioned. I'm just not unconditioned, right? I do not apply. I'm just applying the bell along with the food. So salivation, seeing the food, it will automatically happen. So it is unconditioned response. Okay, and after conditioning, what I'm doing, I'm not providing him the food. I'm just ringing the bell. That is conditioned stimulus that I'm applying. Because he is trained with the foot and the bell, and now he feels that if whenever I'm ringing the bell, I'm providing the foot, it will imagine in that in such a way that it will start to salivate whenever it hears the bell. Without the foot, also it is going to salivate. So this is the way the experiment was conducted, and he found out that they were different concepts. Like, let us see, you understood, I know you understood this concept of stimulus, what is response, what is condition. In detail, we'll look at it. See, unconditioned stimulus, like, unconditioned, there I'm not providing any condition. Like, it is natural phenomena. So it is a stimulus which does not require any conditioning for the desired behavior. Whenever the dog sees the food, it will salivate. I'm not giving here any conditions. The food is an unconditioned stimulus for the salivation. So it is a natural process, unconditioned. It is not having any condition. Okay, neutral stimulus. Whenever I ring a bell, it does not salivate. It is nowhere related, right? So that comes under this neutral stimulus. It is a stimulus which is not responsible directly for the desired response. So I wanted him to salivate, but because of the bell, he's not salivating, right? It is nowhere related. So bell has nothing to do with salivation. So it does not have any association with the food. So this is the neutral stimulus. The next one, conditioned stimulus. Now I'm applying the condition like bell. When a neutral stimulus is conditioned with an unconditioned stimulus, that is a bell, when presented as a stimulus along with the food. So I'm using bell plus food to condition him. Okay, so that is called as a conditioned stimulus. Conditioned stimulus is that I'm providing a condition called as bell, right? Okay. Unconditioned response. Like normally in the natural phenomena, whenever it sees the food, it will have an unconditioned response because it is not giving any condition there. So the behavior which does not require any training, no training, whenever he sees the food, he will salivate. There is no training at all. It is a natural phenomenon. That is what the response is, not having any condition, right? For example, the salivation in an unconditioned response of the food as unconditioned stimulus. You understood that whenever a dog sees the food, the response is unconditioned. It has to salivate directly, automatically. Conditioned response. Okay, the conditioned response is that the behavior or the response that has occurred due to the conditioned stimulus. What is the condition I'm applying? I'm applying the bell. See, when I'm ringing the bell without the foot, he is going to salivate, which is conditioned response. Like, condition, because of the conditioned stimulus, he is going to condition the response. Like, even without the foot, he is going to salivate, because I have trained him in such a way that just by I made him use that ringing a bell. If I ring the bell, I'm providing him the food. This is the mentality that the dog has in himself. Okay, clear. So Pavlov has successfully associated an unconditional response, that is, with a natural salivation is responsible to the food with a condition by ringing the bell. So these are the results that was conducted by the theory of classical conditioning. I hope it is clear and simple actually. If you really understand the terms called what is stimulus, what is response, what is condition, what is unconditioned. Unconditioned is like, it is a natural process. You don't apply any condition there. Okay. Whereas condition, I'm applying a condition. A conditioned response is that, when you where there is no link between it, but it will get trained in such a way that it will respond according to that condition. This is the process of this experiment. Coming to the principles of classical conditioning, the first one is the acquisition. Acquisition is a particular response is being associated with a particular stimulus. So the stimulus, the creation of action, is related to the action that is taken. So for example, a parrot is taught to repeat a specific words each time the doorbell rings. So he has been taught in such way that whenever the doorbell rings, he has to speak some words, like, some specific words. Whenever he will hear a bell, he will repeat those words. This is acquisition. He is acquiring the knowledge, like, what kind of knowledge, that whenever the bell is ringing, I have to talk some specific words. This is what he has been trained to. Okay. Extinction occurs when the conditioned response decreases or disappears. This is what, when the conditioned response, the condition that I'm giving, that is whenever the bell rings, he has to talk. This is the condition. Whereas the conditioned response, whenever it decreases or disappears, that is called as an extinction. Extent, where it will move away. Where, for example, if the doorbell has stopped or replaced by knocking the door, it will not know it, right? It will forget what it was doing. It will forget that it has to repeat the specific words. So if a doorbell is replaced with the knocking of the door, the parrot will forget taking in response to the doorbell after 4 or 6 months of his change. Like, when you train it and you give some gap, like, 4 to 6 months, it will forget. That is called as an extinction. Acquisition is you teach it that you have to repeat this word. This is the condition. Like, whenever there is a bell ring, you have to speak some words. That is acquisition. Extinction is when some people they don't ring the bell, they just knock the door. Because of knocking the door, it will forget. Like, when there is a gap, you forget things, right? The same way the parrot also forgets to speak some specific words, and so it will the response is decreased or disappeared. That is extinction. Coming to the spontaneous recovery, whenever again when it hears the bell ring, it will spontaneously react. So that is the spontaneous recovery, reappearance of the conditioned response after the rest period. So soon after some time, whenever the bell again starts ringing, the parrot will repeat the words. This is the time it will acquire the response. So spontaneous recovery. Recovery of what? Recovery of what it was doing before. Okay, it will recover. So it will start again. Whenever it will hear the bell ring, it will start to repeat those words that were taught to the parrot. Coming to the stimulus generation. It is an act or a process of responding to the stimulus similar. Generalization is whenever it hears a sound which is similar to that or a same kind of it will respond to it. It might not be the same doorbell. It can be some other music which is similar, which is very, very similar to it. It will respond because it will think it is the same thing. So if a mobile tone is similar to the sound of the doorbell, the parrot will think that it is doorbell itself, so it will start talking. So that is generalization. It will generalize it that every tone which is similar is that it has to respond to it. Okay, that is stimulus generalization. Coming to the discrimination, where you discriminate, like where you can differentiate. If you play a song, it will not respond. If it is only the doorbell, it remembers. It has been conditioned for the doorbell itself, so it will not respond. It has an ability to differentiate between the conditioned stimulus. So parrot will not talk in response to knocking the door or playing the song. So it if see, generalization is that it will generalize. If this song or the sound is similar, then it will respond. Whenever it is different, it will not respond. That is, it is able to discriminate the things as well. So we have talked the principles as acquisition, where it will acquire, it is trained in such a way. Extinction, it will forget if there is a gap. Okay, whenever it is, but it has a spontaneous recovery as well. Whenever it again gets it, so it will recover spontaneously. It will react to the conditioned stimulus that has been applied. And the next one is the stimulus generalization, where it will generalize. If the music or the mobile phone which is similar to the doorbell, it will react to it because it will think it is same. Generalization, whenever it is same, it will react. If it is different, it will discriminate. If there is some other music or some other people knocking the door, it will not respond because it has been conditioned stimulus to that particular tone, or a particular voice or something like that. Okay, so this is all about the classical conditioning, and thank you. I hope you understood. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.